We are here streaming today, and we've got one table at the moment. It's the Hot 55. We're gonna get some other tables fired up, start up some music. So hope we can have a good stream today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. If you hear a beeping in the background, that's my power surge protector. It happens a lot. It's not really clean power where I am, so sorry about that. It's a good thing when we hear it. It's protecting us. It's bad that it's happening, but it's good that something's being prevented from doing damage. We're gonna check here. No need to bloat the pot out of position. 5-way. Queen Jack offsuit is a good hand to see multi-way. It's not a great hand to really force the pressure heads up pre-flop. And especially so deep stack. This is super early in this tournament. We're 165 big blinds. Everyone pretty much started with this. Just during the first steps of this turbo registration. We did pretty well yesterday. Hoping to follow that up with something useful today. But this is MTT SNG Poker, and you never know. You can't expect consistent results. You can over time. If you just focus and try your hardest, you can expect some sort of consistent results over time. But you can't expect every day to be up. There's going to be lulls, there's going to be break even, and hopefully there's going to be days where it jumps. Trying to look at other things to enter. Get mixed up in a 45-man. That seems standard to keep some tables open. We will do that. Might be tempted to mix it up today. We're probably going to jump back into the 110 progressive knockout. It was good for us yesterday. It's coming up in 40 minutes, but I think we'll hit that registration button now. Get it on the way. We really like to hit up those 90 mans, but they just don't register in this time. I know I talk about that a lot, but it is a frustration of mine. Alright, we got 2 tables open now. PokerStars is doing, they have been doing for a while, one of their challenges, Cash Game Challenge, Road to Barcelona, or Spin and Go Challenge, Road to Barcelona. I think you can play both. In the cash games, collect pieces for playing certain things. In the Spin and Go, basically it just finds a way to get you to play lots of Spin and Goes, which is fine. I don't think it's really the best use of our time, but it's possible. And the payouts, the random payouts are kind of bad. 98.89999% will get 25 cents back for completing the challenge. It's okay if you're playing 25 cent spin and goes and you have a fairly break-even success rate, which I think I'm around. But still, not today. Not yet today anyway. Got some action up here. Limp. Let's repop it so we can try and gain absolute position. I don't think it's going to push too many people out, but absolute position is probably the goal there. I don't mind seeing it multi-way. heads up would be better. In position is great. Or deep stacks. I'm not really sure what Silas has been up to before. Silas from Denmark. But we will find out. That's a pretty good flop for us. Second pair is not the best part, but the flush draw is, and a backdoor straight draw. So I think we can just c-bet around 1/3 of the pot. We're in position. People might give up some stuff that could get there better than us. I doubt it, but it's a fine hand. They either fold or they call, and we got good odds on it. So now our previous bet gives us a check back on this. I think we'll just check it back. And the other king gets there, which makes our queen better. If he had a king, he'd beat us anyway. Seeing a second king makes it less likely. We're going to call it off. Take it down. Queen 9 versus queen 10. Fair enough. I don't think his play was too bad. The last bet might have been a blocker bet, I suspect. Over on table 2, I don't know what just happened, but 3 people apparently got kind of mixed up. So let's just do our standard raise. I'm gonna pull open this and have a look at what actually happened or transpired. I'm gonna call this hand over here. I think we want to make some notes on these people, right? Let's go back to table 2. Register another of the 45s. While we do that, let's check it back. No need to be overly aggressive early. I don't really know what happened on that previous board. I guess it was a flush versus a set, versus a full house versus quads. So everyone had some reason to believe they could have been good in that position. I don't think there's too much to mark there. They all got it in pre-flop, that's different, but I'm sure they got it in post. Alright, so it went check, 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 and then bet on the river. We don't beat a flush, we don't beat a jack, we don't beat a king. He's betting half pot. I think I'm going to fold it. Over on this table, we just saw it multi-wave for 2 bigs. We went behind an we flatted behind an open and a call ahead of us. I don't think there's much point in betting this flop. I think heads up there could be. I'm pretty sure 6-way we're in big trouble if we bet that. We're rarely taking it down, and just not good things happen. Alright, just gonna fold it. So we have 2 tables open right now, a hot 55 and a 25-cent 45 man. We are probably going to hit up this 45 man soon. It's about halfway registered. In the big tournaments that are out there, or bigger tournaments I should say, there's a progressive $1.10 coming up in half an hour, and we will play that. I considered expanding my bankroll, like not investing more or something like that, but I've considered, I'm going to fold here. I've considered going up in stakes slightly. I'm just not sure which stakes are optimal and when to make that jump. I'm certainly rolled for it, but I'm a low variance kind of guy, and I just want to keep that little trail as even on the uptick as I can. There's no big need for dippy, swingy things. It's always nice when it shoots up, but if you have the ability to shoot high, you also have the ability to drop quickly. And so I might work out my shot-taking ranges, or I might start mixing in more tournaments. Like I'm watching here, I'm looking at, where is it? Let's fold this. I don't know if you guys can see this too well. I know the quality is pretty poor, but if you look at this, you can see this is kind of like the level of stuff I look at usually. And so the time between tournaments, the Hot 55 is at 1:15, and then this other one is in half an hour, so like 1 or 2 o'clock, right? The next one's at 3 o'clock. Like they're spaced out by an hour or so for most of them. If we played at night, which we really should, midnight-ish, you can see that we get 1 tournament, 2 tournaments, 3 tournaments, 4 tournaments, 5, 6, 7, 8 tournaments within about 2 hours. Probably like 10 within a 3-hour span. So that's way better, but we tried flipping our schedule before. It did not fare so well. Let's go back to this one. What do we have as a note? I think we want to ISO with this. It's not a big raise. Henrik might not give up on it, so maybe it's a bad ISO. I don't know if this feels too loud. It feels like it is today, so I'm going to turn it down slightly. We did not get the isolation. We have a flush draw. That's good. We're getting a bet and a call, and we certainly have odds to call. The only bad thing here could be ace high flush, kind of slaps us pretty hard. Jack is good for us, so now ace jack suited kind of thing would be way ahead of us. It wouldn't be ace jack suited, so we should probably be betting this. It's a good river for us. Bad with 2s, 6s, 8s, or another jack that's better. There's only one other jack out there though, so we're pretty happy with this at the moment. I think we put it to just a little under half pot. Of course we could be outplayed. Someone could easily be slow playing their full house at this point. I think half, maybe half was ambitious. I was expecting Heinrich to call quite a bit there. Maybe he was just on a flush draw too though. Adelar, I'm not sure he calls too often because it is for the rest of the stack. We chip up. And we didn't have to see a showdown, so that's fine. Back here, looking at these structures, so my current limit I put to $1.60. It's only really 110 is kind of like the level. Then the next level goes up, and if you look, I can kind of like open it up to anything under $5. And if I do that, there's a lot more tournaments. So from noon, we would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we could have registered already, 3 that would be registering in the next hour, and it really opens it up. But then, if you take it into the nighttime, it's just insane. Within 1 hour, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tournaments in 1 hour, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tournaments in 2 hours. All bounty builder, kind of hot 55, good stuff going on. And I don't think anything is actually up close. Most of it is not really close to the 5-minute or the $5 mark. A lot of it is like I'm not really interested in the 350 revise. The 220 would be interesting to me, and even the 330 maybe. Let's move it over to here. We could isolate with this, but I think we're just going to call, being out of position potentially. I think the only thing we need to be scared of is that Alec might have ace king. We're going to check because I think we give him room to bet again, which does not happen, so that's not good. We're going to bet half pot on this. No one was aggressive on the flop. We want to squeeze out anyone who's like running for the final card to hit their flush. I think we can bet a little cheap on here to get him to call. And he might have had like a different ace, maybe suited ace. There we go. Ace 9. Suit hit. So back here, that's where my thought process is. My next jump might be in the 220 range for tournaments, maybe even up to 330s if I can fit in the types of tournaments I want. Because it's not just playing that range, it's playing those types. Table 2, get an all-in, and we'll call it because it's 1.5 bigs. And we're actually ahead with 9-4 pre-flop. Not on the turn though, but that's fine. So I don't know what happened to him to make him chip up or chip down so low. This is what happened. Did he get it in pre? He 3-bet it, so that's good. 3-bet, got flatted. Continued, got flatted. Continued, got flatted. Continued, got flatted. Like, yeah. I mean, he had good odds the whole way to do certain things. The flush draw got there on the turn, but I'm gonna make a note. 6x opens 7-7 under the gun. I'm making a note of both people, by the way. Let's begin with the aces guy. We're gonna fold this. I don't think we're behind Jake's, but I think we're behind GGHR's open under the gun. We don't know much about him, so we have to assume he's probably okay until we know more. Just finishing off my note. Nothing important going on so far. Just gotta make notes about how people play certain hands, I think that's always a good thing. We have pocket fours over here. I haven't registered in another tournament yet. I think the third space I might just reserve for that 110 coming up. We could get into a 45. Just part of me really wants to play these bigger 220s and things like that. We're clearly calling this at least. I don't think there's much room, reason, or rhyme for 3-betting it. We get 3-bet, and that feels bad. I think we're just gonna let it go. I'm sure we have odds to call. Oh. Now we certainly don't have odds to call. I assume this is aces, or aces, kings, queens, ace, king from LFC. I'm gonna fold it. There we go, he has queens. And he holds. Good for him. And we're going to make notes on some people on that one. I've often thought, by the way, that it would be probably easier to keep 3 tables up and make notes. I'm going to fold this. And make notes on the 4th table. Let's skip this on. I'm going to call this again. Hope that it doesn't get out of hand. Make some notes. And it gets opened and shoved. So bet power guy. We're definitely folding the threes. Okay, so he makes a what is this guy up to? What did he have? He had 70 bigs again there, roughly? So we're gonna, I don't know what we should mark this guy, but I think we should put him out in this range. Now he's sitting at this. Okay. Sometimes I find myself writing notes that don't make sense. Like I'll say that someone called all in, or like got it all in with aces. How they played it's fine, like that's good to know, but the actual note of getting it all in with aces doesn't really have any bearing on the subject. I think anyone is probably getting it all in pre-flop with aces. If they're not, I don't really, like, it's just, yeah, it's standard. So I think the ideal goal of most notes is to take interest in how people play differently from you, or how you perceive that they might be playing, so that you can do interesting things. We're gonna fold this. Sometimes I make a note based on whether or not someone does something very different from how I would play it, and then other times I'll make it to just to know how they might play a very strong hand with low blinds or deep or things like that, and then it might be a signal for me if they play it differently. If they do play their hands differently, it might be a signal for time to back off versus them, which can be exploited. You know, they can exploit me when I'm trying to be exploitive to them, but generally I think people tend to play most of their hands the same. And I think they do play their strong hands differently. I try my hardest not to, but it's not something you can always prevent. Fold. Over here, we're just gonna check it back. We've seen quite a few hands with Alex kind of being in them. We're just gonna check back. I think we can start to label a few people out here. This guy's probably around this. Let's check it back again. 7 gets there. Flushes are happy to continue. 7 is still there. Doesn't change much that the 5 hit. Or we have more showdown value by checking this back than bluff value, I think, at this point. We don't really want to call any river bet. We just kind of hope it gets there free. And we take it. I don't think we could have extracted much. Let's see, 3s. Did the 3s give up on that river? I think they do. So I think we bet, everyone folds. It's the same scenario. And if they have better, they call or raise. So what's the real point in addressing on something like that? Not much. Here we have notes on people. This bet power guy. don't know enough about him. He seems super aggressive, super weird. Over here we have two people all in. Ace-10 will take it. Really appreciate you guys watching the stream. Just really happy to know that someone out there is watching, and I'm just enjoying myself. So you guys can watch or not, but I really do appreciate when you do. I think it adds to the fun. Back on table 1. Bet's sitting out, and I think we're gonna min raise it. Mike might call it. He seems kind of loose, but Bet probably won't. I wouldn't be doing this if Bet was sitting in, because he seems to be uber aggressive. Will you take it down? We get a limp by Neri. We will have position if we continue with this, but Alec and Neri like to play a lot of hands. Same with Mike, and I think we're just better getting out of the way. Ace-8's certainly fine as an open. I think when someone's shown a little interest, it's probably not the best thing to play. You don't really want to get a deep pot with Ace-8 typically. Over on this table, we get an open. Papa seems pretty loose in general, so we're gonna call it. It's a decent flop for us. The goal would be for him not to continue on that board. And we have it three-way, and an open from under the gun, or an open from first position, I guess. Small blind. Under the gun's bad to say. We're gonna call. We have position. I imagine that they have a jack or a king at this point. I'm gonna bet. Alright, take it down. Terp has 123 chips, so he's doing okay in this tournament. I imagine he's close to chip leader. Terp, he's 4th. Alright. Let's go back to this table. It went a limp open. We don't have the odds to be in with this guy, but I think we have the odds to be in with GGHRR. HHRR, who's likely to limp behind, I think, after we limp. You know, once we flat it, he's got odds to flat it, so there we go. Not the flop we're looking for, and Diego is more of a passive guy pre-flop, so I actually expect him to have a decent hand over pairs, certainly over cards. Fives aren't terrible here, but if we hit a 5, we don't necessarily win. I'm gonna back off. Over on this table, we can hit the wrong button, apparently. I meant to open that. I scene switched and clicked the wrong thing. Let's hope it luckily went with people having amazing hands right there. I don't know. Pain. So we fold our 5s here. The flush got there by that guy. What did the other one have? King 10. So we're in pretty big trouble there. Holding pre-flop of the 5s is not my most shining moment. I don't think I make too many misclicks. Obviously you will make misclicks when you're multi-tabling things like that. I'm gonna fold the Queen 4. Thank you for closing the action, and he's opening from small blind or something with 5 bigs. You could probably call it off, but I'm gonna fold it. Don't really want Limpiao to come behind. Limpiao? Brazil. I didn't start up my timer yet. Alright, 5 hours yesterday, clear that off. We got a am I going? You don't see it. Ching. Oh my. Let's fold this. Let's fold this. This is interesting. I think what prevents me from calling this is Papa. Papa has quite a few 3-bets in him, and I think his 3-bets probably increase, like he squeezes more, so I think it's a good thing to fold that. Yep. We don't want to be out of position with Papa in a bloated pot. I think Cola probably calls this off. Oh no! Disaster! We would have had a pretty good flop, but still, we made the right decision. Ace 10 of the suited variety. I think this will be a call. I know that we just folded one because we thought that this guy would come behind, but I think it's a fine call. Certainly better than the 10-8 suited, in my opinion. Could be wrong. We get 3-bet by KKF Jose, who he's multi-tabling, I think. That's our note on him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tables. So I don't think he's ever doing this light. Certainly Cola's not having a worse hand than us at this point. We are going to fold, get out of the way. They're both going to get it in, I have no doubt. I don't think that's a light 3-bet. There, kings versus 10s. Our ace 10 would have been crushed anyway. I mean, we don't want to get in against kings or pocket 10s at that point, especially that specific hand. And looking at this KKF Jose, it looks like he's so he's playing 10. He's 2 of 2 and 1. He's all 45 mans. 2 of 2, 5 of 7, 9 of 10, 9 of 9, 7 of 22, 24 28, 26 28, 29 31, 22 36, 21 of 42. He's doing pretty good for himself, or pretty well for himself, I should say. He's only playing these at the moment, and let's play back that hand. Okay. Need to note that. Cola TTT, by the way, was the guy who came up against him, and I imagine with a name like Cola TTT, maybe he likes his TTTs, his 10s. I'm gonna fold. Just get out the way. Aggressive starts in 8 minutes. Our break starts in a couple minutes too. Call this off. I don't think there's any reason to repop this. I think his range is fairly tight from under the gun. I would suspect. I don't know. Not too many stats to tell us what's going on there. We have backdoor stuff we can do here. I don't actually see that he's c-betting much yet. I'm gonna fold it. So we have overcards and we have backdoor potential stuff there. That gives us quite a few outs, potentially, but are they outs? Right, I think the backdoor flush is an out, or backdoor straight is an out, but not necessarily the high card. I really want to see this, but I think I'm done with speculation. Suited I would call. We're a little worried about Papa coming over the top if we call this. if we knew that Papa would be in and Turk would be in without problems, then it's a fine thing to see, but I don't want to see that. I don't think that Batman has been showing himself to be extremely aggressive and opening terrible things. So I think he's ahead of our range to begin with, that's for sure. I don't think there's much of a question about that. Alright, Redemption. I have a chance to play R5's free flop. I'm gonna fold. I think four-way. This is a fold all day. Someone's gonna have an ace or a jack for sure. So Amanda's like, I've got an ace, and then Kine LV is like, I have the real ace, and he does. Oh snap! That got pretty close and interesting, huh? But the counterfeit river of the jack gave it back to the real ace. So on this hand, this table, I want to open this because I think I can steal from these N2 guys, but I don't think I get past Papa. So I'm gonna fold it because I don't trust Papa. And I would have gotten past Papa. But Papa's been playing 60% of hands, opening 44%, and 3-betting 22%. I don't think that he's someone you want to mix it up with too often. And it kind of makes sense when I'm looking. He's playing this 45-man tournament as well as an Omaha cash game. Good for him. Alright, I'm going to be back. I'm going to head for this infamous break, and we'll be on more tables when we come back. Let's throw this up. A little on break action, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Peace. I'm back from break, but I'm just going to take a minute, do a couple push-ups, get the blood flowing, so bear with me. Alright, I'm back. I'm back and out of shape, but more in shape than a minute ago. I'm gonna mute that mic for just 1 sec. Alright, fully back. Hope you enjoyed that music. It's just so good. It's terrible. I need better royalty-free music. We'll get there, folks. We'll get there. Wait, I wonder if I can do things like this now. Now that my internet is slightly better. Not for the upload, of course. But let's get some attention on these tables. There we go. Let's fold. I'm gonna check this back. I'm gonna check that back. Check. So what do we want? What type of music? Inspirational. That sounds about right. So he can certainly have bluffs here, but I don't really want to fight 40 out of position. So I'll get like a paired 2 and a 4 kicker. Not ideal. I don't know if the sound levels it right here. Damn. We're dropping frames, so I'm gonna kick it. Can you kick it? Yes, I can. Go back to our other stuff. Up here, what notes do we have? Let's open. Get a fold. I think we could open this, but I don't really want to. Here, I think we'll just min open. I know that Papa 3-bets and things like that. We'll fold to a 3-bet. Ultimate position against someone who's fairly loose. I think that's good. We haven't been too aggressive, so maybe we'll get some respect as well. Right? Good things can happen, folks. Over here on table 4, I think we're just gonna fold it. We're pretty deep, but we need to figure people out before we start mixing it up, right? Before we get into the streets of the trenches. Here we're gonna fold. Here we're gonna fold. Getting low stack. This is probably our lowest stack tournament, I think, at the moment. It's 45 men, 25 cents, and there's 25 people left. We're 15th of the 25, but that doesn't mean a thing. Keep looking at those juicy tournaments out there. Really tempted. I'm gonna fold this. A little fold button on this. I think there's some action over here. Wait. Bam. Let's see what his 8.5 shove is. We do not see it. Okay. Bring it on back to this table. It went 3-bet pre, and then this guy opens out of position, he donks it, and then just folds. I'm not really sure what you guys are up to. I think we're gonna, Partner wants to 3-bet this. Just gonna flat it. I don't really want to be all in pre with 30 bigs, so I think if we 3-bet, there's a chance Peste Prejit from Romania decides to get it in with us. We don't want to be part of that, so. Let's fold this. This is a fairly big bet. It's just a considerable portion of his stack. He's obviously wanting to get it in at this point. We're gonna fold at 4-way. We don't have a piece of that. He takes it down. Good for him. Let's fold. So that leads me to believe he probably had a stronger hand pre-flop as well. Maybe it's just a pair. He might be doing that move with 6s, but I doubt it. 8s, 9s, or 10s, certainly he can be doing that. A jack, a pair jack makes a lot of sense there. Overpair, but we block aces and queens, so it could just be kings pre. Kings make sense. I mean, he could have aces and queens, but we blocked some of that. Pocket jacks could also make sense, but I find it unlikely. Could just be overcards. Ace king decides to get frisky, but I also find that unlikely. His stats, limited that they are, don't tell us too much about him, unfortunately. We're gonna fold this. We're gonna be out of position post flop. It's 4.6 to 1. I know a lot of people would play this, and if we're deeper stacked, I would. But I want to preserve my chips and use them more wisely. Over here, we're gonna shove. Turp has the strongest range here because he bothered to open it. Non-Celtum doesn't really likely have a strong range. That's not good for us. We're easily against an ace between two people. Ace-X is typically what you're against, and pocket pair. So I think we're dead here. Ace-King, Ace-Queen. Alright. Lock it up. We did the right thing. We tried to put pressure when we could. Done with that one. Over on this little ditty, we saw pre-flop, checked, people did stuff, and now Machiavelli is getting aggressive. But I don't think Machiavelli was from Costa Rica, so maybe he's just not Machiavelli. One tournament down. Gonna have a look into other tournaments. Let's get another 45 man going, I think. Oh, 90 man's how I wish you would play along with me. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. Fuck you, Asbol. Okay. Apparently Machiavelli's upset with Lazaroi. We're gonna min open on this hand up here. We get snapped off by Mike on the min open. I think we're gonna c-bet. We're gonna c-bet and give up. If he does anything, we're just giving up. Alright, we take it down. My beautiful wife has just arrived with food. Burger and fries from Jollibee. Thank you. Salamat. Alright. I'm gonna fold this, fold this. You guys do not want to hear me eat. So I'm probably going to enjoy this burger and mute the mic. I'd actually be tempted to save you from the unfun of watching me eat too, but maybe it's better to leave it on? I don't know. I'm gonna fold this. I'm gonna fold this. Oh, I'm gonna fold that. My hotkey skills are not all there yet. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Let's go back to this table. We're not making any moves with this hand, just thought I'd have a look at it, see what he's up to. La Vida Lucky, the lucky life over here, is probably living luckily, sitting out for 30 hands so far? I don't know. Now mute this mic. Sorry guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. But, necessary evil. Alright, so down here, if you're watching, we got King Queen, and it went King 2 8 Queen, and this guy over here, he check called the whole way out of position. Pocket twos, fair enough. I think we probably didn't make too many mistakes. Our one mistake was probably the bet on the river. I just thought of the range he was continuing with, maybe he would believe in a paired king or even a paired queen by river because of my bet sizing. But apparently he just check calls the whole way, even believing he's going to get a shove on the river, which is fine. He was right, so it's not like he played it wrong. He extracted maximum value, and that's your job. But I made a mistake. I should not have bet that river. I think only extremely strong hands call it most of the time, or maybe a bluff catcher, and he could have that personality, but I don't know enough. That's a close one. I think if we're under the gun or button, we would shove this potentially. We need to start chipping up in this tournament, that's for sure. Now we need to get a fourth tournament going. We never did that yet. Getting pretty low on this one. Gonna fold. "36 minutes from now, the deep payouts begins. 2 hours of registration hell, but maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth it. Just seeing that hand come up on stream now. What a punish to watch it again. And how terribly I played that river. Might turn off my camera in the future for eating, by the way. I don't think it's optimal to have that on. Oh my god, what do I do? He's opening under the gun. We have a pair. We're gonna go for it. We're probably behind a lot of his. We're flipping. Alright. Hold the pair. Hold the pair. Hold the pair. We get there. Interesting, he opens that, right? I think, what did he have? King 10 offsuit, 20 bigs, 22 big blinds, opens, King 10 off, under the gun. That was off 12x. Shove right. Yeah. We're certainly going to fold this. I imagine there's worlds in which the deep stack and the little stack start going at it, so let them have at it. This guy's probably pretty tilted now. That's fine for us. Oh, excuse me. Is this a stealer hand? This may well be, right? We don't get too many 3-bets, I don't think, from them, unless they're telling the truth. Of course, it could be that Brooks is at a point where he just gives up on life and decides to shove it in. That's always a concern when you're doing it to short stacks. Over here, we're getting min raise. I think we still just shove it. It's not an amazing, happy place to be, but we'll go for it. Jacks. Enormous. Just jacks. I think we have to do it though. Pull that trigger, and we are out of that one. 691. Paid at 300, 1,700 runners. Fine. Alright, next tournament. On we go.
And James Bond equipment will be.
Let's get another 45 out there. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna believe in the 90 man today. Gonna hit that register button. See if we can get something going. It's 58 of 90 right now, so we got a shot. Usually when it's around the 14 to 30, I think he just kind of hovers up and hovers down, does weird things. But today is Saturday for me, which is Friday night for most people, so I think we've got a shot at getting some people involved. We could steal here. I'm gonna fold though. Gary seems kind of a looks passive type player. Down here, we're just gonna check it. I think we're gonna be... I'd be tempted to like check shove or something, but I think we're just gonna bet. Right? We're not backing off with 15 bigs left, so we're gonna find out what happens here. We are not backing off. Might get scary if this guy shoves it, but we are not backing off. Straight gets there, a flush gets there, but so does two pair, and we're going for it. Our two pair might be his two pair, right? Gonna hit the old fold button. Picked up some chips. It is a knockout, so anytime that we're above other people for chips, it's a good time. Over on this table, I think we just call it. Can't let him have free chips. Of course he's ahead of our range, but even so, we hit. Can we hold? Bamo, good night, Brooksy. We were getting insane odds to call that, and it's a little strange right now. I have table 2 and table 4 open. It's kind of weird to think of like, oh, what am I flipping to here? There's an all in here. We're gonna fold it. I think that's the right play. Naka Poker, I assume, is the chip master, the leader of our little tournament, so we're not gonna be too aggressive with him. Seems like a solid player. He's done well. Might even look him up, see what he's doing out there. But we're gonna fold. Over on this one, we are not folding. I think we're just gonna shove it. We could min and deuce or something, but I'm not really wanting to play it short stacked, and in position's good, but I just want to play it kind of all in pre is good for me, I think. And we're looking at Kaka Poker, I guess his name is. It's an interesting name, sir. I don't know if these guys paid attention to what I'm up to. We're gonna min bet this one and see. On the other table, Kaka Poker is playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different tables, all varying degrees of stuff. So we're gonna make a note on him, I think. Note, multi-tabler. Mostly different stuff. Okay. Check this back. Go back to this table. We're gonna fold. Of course, Lamp can be doing like exploitive things. Ugh. This river, I think we have to call it. Do we love it? No. Do we do it? Yes. Hope the crazy doesn't like pop it up over. Okay, he had pocket eights. Good for him. Maybe calling with king high there is ambitious, but I don't really want to watch them walk away from the table with 8 bigs for 1 big kind of thing. I think there are worlds in which we're actually winning that, so. Back to table 2. I'm gonna fold this. Looks like Lampy's getting a little steely out there. Maybe he's figured out he can steal from us and Sappy, I don't know. I'm still concerned that this Kaka Poker guy is going to be aggressive in spots if we decide to try and take away his chips. Looking at the tournament, Savvy's the low, then Gary. So on our table are the lows, Savvy and Gary. Gary's getting mixed up with Coca-Poker, and Lempio was mixed up. Lempiao. So I think there's a lot of times where they get knocked out, but just chip it up. We're gonna main open this. Take it down. It's always good. Let's fold that. I don't know what they're doing here. Seems like Lempiao is actually quite blind aware of what's going on. Like small blind, big blind wars and button defense. So I don't think he's playing terribly. Looks like Coca-Poker could have had something there, or he was doing the old delayed c-bet in position, you know, a little stabby. And he'll be raising our button, our big line again. That's not good for business, folks. But we're gonna certainly with Lempiao doing a 3-bet here. Lempiao, we're gonna fold. We hope that Coca-Poker gets it in here, but he does not, so he chips up Lempiao. I haven't really been keeping an eye on the other tables. Looks like not much going on really on the other one either. Everyone's just kind of sitting similar stacks, not doing a lot of work. Not that we are either. I don't like to be acting quick in these scenarios. When it's 4 or 5 handed, I feel like people take advantage of your actions according to speed sometimes. And if they see that you're quick folding, they might get the idea that it's good to be aggressive on you. I don't want to give anyone that idea, because that's not the best idea. Alright, we actually got a 90 man going. Can you believe it? So I'm excited about that. There's the deep payouts in 25 minutes. I think we fold this. It seems Savvy might be aggressive here soon. Imagine we min open and he shoves. We're never calling that, so I think we just give up. Alright, he takes down some chi-ups. We're gonna fold that, but we'll pop over to this table and have a look at what's going on. I'm just gonna flat it. This is the first hand of the 90 man, no need to make waves. Some people get super aggressive early. So imagine I 3-bet this. I'm in position, that's good stuff. Could get heads up, that's also good stuff. Multi-way, it's fine stuff. But what happens if I 3-bet and someone gets really aggressive behind, like just shoves their stack or something? Oh, excuse me, something stupid. Doesn't really help us, right? We want to get post flop with it. Over on table 2, gonna min open the ace-king. We're getting pretty short in the progressive knockout. We haven't done anything, we haven't knocked out anyone, so a tournament is looking like trouble at the moment. No action on our ace-king, that's fine. We don't always need action. Picking up lines is fine. Min open for Sabby. I have pocket 2s. I just don't know what he's doing this with. So typically, I think at this point, with this type of player, across 300 hands we've seen, I think he's shoving his really strong hands. And he's min-betting his, he's min-betting his really strong hands, and he's probably shoving his medium to weak hands. So I don't think we're doing well versus whatever he's min-betting from under the gun there. And under the gun is the hijack as well, so it's not like he's that far off. We will be folding this to Cow. We could be 3-betting it, but I think we're gonna fold it. On this other table down here, I would love to shove this, and I think I would have had Happy Sunday had not done something, but we're gonna fold it now. Over on table 1 is a decent flop for us. We're just gonna check it back though. Now we have a flush draw along with our 2 pair. There's a queen on the board, 2 queens on the board, which removes some likelihood that one of them out there has a queen. With 4 of the people in the pot, there is a likelihood, or sorry, there is more possibility than if it's heads up, of course. Someone could be on a better flush draw. Someone could have a better 10. I think we're just gonna do call-y things, see what happens. I don't think there's any reason to bloat this pot unnecessarily. I think we're either ahead or we're way behind, and I don't think we're ever way ahead. So I don't really see a reason to be doing things unnecessarily. But at the title, we made a final table. Gonna check it back. I was trying to think if we can extract any value there, and I don't think we do. Of course, they didn't show super aggression, and we have good reasons to do this or that, but yeah. We made final table, guys. Looks like we got 3 people pretty much all in on the first hand. 1 guy's knocked out, and we'll be moving on from there. We're not in the money yet. It starts paying at 7th place. It's pretty minimal, but it's something. We talked about a shove on hands like this, and I think it's time to do it. We're gonna get called by quite a few things, so we're gonna have to win. I don't think we ever take this down pre-flop. People are gonna hunt the bounty. That makes it tricky for us. Probably gonna be behind, but not too far behind on the flop, I hope. Yeah, we're flipping. Can we hit? No. Okay, we're out of that one. That's a fine call by him. I think it's a bit ambitious, given that other people up behind can do things, but it's a fine call. There's nothing wrong with it. On this table, we're gonna fold. I keep our eye on the final table. I think that's where most of the action is going to be, and just kind of like muddle our way through the other tables for now. Control. Okay, what do you think's going on here? So we're 5th of 8, but 2 through the 8 of 8 until we finish it out. Looks like Sabby just double chipped up, so that puts pressure on Nyarja. But we are going to min open this, even though we don't really want to get it in and do stupid things. We'll get in with Nyarja. Hopefully everyone folds, but you never know. Ace Queen offsuit is a really good hand, especially with these at this big blind level. Maybe it should just mean an open shove. I don't really know enough. We get 2 calls behind. That's terrible. That's not a great flop. We will check it out. We get small bet on the flop. We can do collie things, but the ICM pressure forces us not to. We're even stacked with Sabby at this point after this play. Nyarja is next on the board to go. Maybe that should have been a shove. I feel like it could have been a shove or a... I don't think it's ever a fold. So our big terms haven't paid off yet. We got knocked out in the 55, we got knocked out in the $1.10. So the big ones are jamming us pretty hard right now. We could go for that deep payouts. Being tempted, I talk about it every day like I'm going to. But I just can't pull that trigger yet. Looks like this GGHHRR is actually a decent player, right? I think he's played well so far. He's multi-tabling 2. He's 1 of 8 in one of them, which is this I assume, and 34, 44 in the other. Doesn't tell us too much. We're gonna fold. Trying to think of the hands he's got. He's obviously way ahead in chip lead. He's almost double the stack of the next contending ones. I think we're going to put him in this little category over here. Do some tagged things with these guys. So we're going to get out of the way of this. It's just a limp, but I think things can explode behind us. We can't take it down really if we have a limp before us. Shove might get through, but it rarely does. Only got 12 bigs left. So we're 7 of 8 in this tournament at the moment. I don't know what to mark Snoopy. I can't tell if he's loose aggressive or kind of loose passive. I think he's kind of a mix between. Taggy might be closer, but then he plays a lot of free flops. And fold. On this table, we are going to obviously just see it. Hit a pair. We're going to bet half pot. I think if it king pre-flop, he'd probably open. If he has one now, he would tell us about it. I think that's fine. Back to the action. I'm gonna fold. So this is probably good. No, we have an open for 2.1. Or whatever happened here. It's almost like limped, then he called it, and then there's like a re-raise. just got weird, right? So I think that's good. I think Gary's got a better hand than Miyarsh. And we'll find out. Gary's definitely calling this off. Aces versus King 8. Can it hold? It can. Yeah, so he's knocked out. That's good for us. Pocket Jacks is fine in this scenario. I think we just go with the old Shavarinsky. We've got a limp ahead already. That doesn't narrow down Gary's range at all. But Jacks are what we're doing here. We're the nut low of the tournament. I think Gary will call us off a fair amount of times here. No, that's fine. Pick up some chips. We're no longer the nut low. Savvy would be that new player. Blinds change in 1 minute. So they're probably going to hit us first, which is a bit of a shame. We'll see. Still waiting on this. I think we're going to go ahead and register the deep payout. Just don't know if I want to mix too many big tournaments in. I kind of wanted to keep mostly 45-man tournaments that are, or mostly 25-cent tournaments at the lowish level, and then a couple of shot takers, and just let it continue like that. So if we're taking 2 $1.10s today, it's like taking 8 45-mans off of our repertoire, which isn't really ideal. I'm gonna fold this. Not sure what Sabby's up to over here. He seems like he's a knowledgeable player though. The one thing that really makes me not want to play the deep payouts is that it takes forever to finish registration. So we could be talking about this tournament in what? Late registration available for 2 hours. So it doesn't finish registering. It's almost 3 p.m. It starts around 3, and it doesn't finish registering until 5. I don't know if we want to be part of that world. Blinds hit exactly on me. That's not optimal. We can defend this against Lampiao. I'm not excited about it because Sabby is lower, but we just get a limp from Gary. I'm actually expecting Lampiao to go nuts on this, but maybe not. He limps everything. He did fold to our last shove. We'll just check it. I know it's kind of a weak move because we do just take it there sometimes pre-flop. There is obviously fold equity if we folded before, but I think because we shoved to his last limp to us, we're losing fold equity. Like, he's more likely to be calling us off, and anything that he calls us off with is probably flipping, right? We might just win it post-flop, right? We've got some showdown value. If we just take our time, he might not just go for it. He might just check it the whole way through. His stats kind of show that he will just check things down. We have split pot. We both had ace-4, it looks like. His was suited, so he had a better ace-4. And I don't know if the rest of the table is just kind of staring like, how did that not get in pre, or wondering what just happened. That's fine. If I'm low, if I'm the low of the tournament, this is a shove. But there are 2 people below me, and the blinds are going to hit them again before they hit me. So I think Jack-6 suited is a fold there. Considering that this guy is 3 times my stack, and seems to be... I'm going to put him in this range. I don't think he's really that aggressive, but I think he's in that range. Actually, I revoke that. I'm going to put him here. Alright, let's do it. Let's just win. Let's just win. Oh my. Hit the old fold button. Could be the new fold button, but I think this one's an old fold button. So two guys are mixing it up. Neither one is kind of that worried about getting their chips into a bad situation. I guess Gary is going a little deep on this, and probably likely one of them has a flush at this point. They don't have the 2 flush, so that's not likely. I actually guess on that board that Snoopy had a pair and was trying to protect against the flush draw. Gary hit that flush draw is my guess, and away he went. Break's coming up in 3 minutes, and I'm gonna grab a drink when break hits for sure. I have one, but it's pretty much done, and I'm thirsty. Gonna hit the old fold button on the King 3. Lempiao chipped up a little bit, so that's not good for us. Savvy's pretty low, considerably low, so that's good for us. I would play this hand, but not at this moment in time. Alright, so Coca Poker is aggressing into Lempiao. He steals quite a bit. He's also folded to a reshove like this before, but he might be fed up with it. He hasn't played 2 out of line. He's certainly stealing, but I don't think he's out of line. Okay, he folds it, so that's not good for us. Lempiao chips up again. We are in the money, so let's just mark it as such. We're gonna get out of the way of this. Queen 8 suited is an okay hand in blind defense versus open and a call, but I think with 10 bigs left, you probably want to be more selective. I assume these guys have a better range of hands that they're bothering to play this with. One of them could be still playing an ace or a king here. I find that in the high realm of possibilities. Seems like Lempiao's doing quite well for himself. Slowly chipping up. He was below us, remember, and he's come back to 17 bigs now. And I don't think any of those have been through showdowns. It's pretty good to do when you've just got 10 bigs around there. I'm gonna fold. I'm sure this is a shove, by the way. A lot of people would shove that. Ace Jack suited is a shove if it gets to us, for sure. The only thing that would prevent us is if someone like open, someone 3-bet, someone 3-bet, like that type of thing. This is not the optimal situation, but we're doing it. I think Ace Jack suited is too good to pass up. I think Savvy probably folds this quite often. I hope GG doesn't call. Of course he calls with jacks. Let's see if we can hit an ace. And only an ace. Nope, we're out of the tournament. Alright. 7th place. Seems standard. I'm gonna go grab a drink. We're just about to hit break. On break. I will be right back. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Alright, we're back. I am back from break, as you can tell. Gonna hit the registration on this deep payout. Alright. I don't think there's anything too exciting coming up. Maybe a Bubble Rush. Not really into the Zoom tournaments unless it's the only table I have up. I feel like it takes too much focus and concentration. Not that you can't do it, but it takes away from your play of your other tables more. And I don't really want to do that. I want to split my focus properly. Alright, let's start watching some action a little closer. 10s get into 9s. Okay. Is that a pre-flop decision? It was. Starting to feel like Steely Vicky is a loose player pre-flop. Really appreciate all you guys out there watching. Nice to see you out there. Look forward to getting some more action going on for you today. Let's see if we can get some first places, some ladder ups, some paybacks, some money. Money's always good. But let's get some good gameplay. Let's put that at the heart of our our goals. Let's play right, and let's just win. Okay, table 3. We're gonna open up 2.2. We're fairly early in the bigs. We got 43 behind. It could be a min, but I think for 2.2 is good. We hit a 10. That's good. We're just gonna c-bet. I think a standard half pot c-bet seems fine. Oh, repairs might continue or regress. Now, flush or straight could have gotten there. I think we're going to c-bet smaller this time. Get jammed on. It'd be pretty quiet pretty quick, huh? I think he's got this most of the time. I'm just wondering what odds I actually have to hit a 3, 8, or 7. Could be bluffing. I think Jack 9 exactly is what he's got. It's 21 bigs to see 65. You can see 3 different cards of each. It's 9 outs, 18% chance. We're getting a 25%. This is tough, man. This is really tough. I think we just fold it. I think we're like 7% off calling that. Something around those odds. Maybe I got those mixed up. Maybe we had exact odds. I think his actual bluffs in that spot are 0. And I think that's what makes it a fold. Because we're looking to call purely on how many outs we can hit. And it's costing us 25% to call that. And he's only, like, the odds of hitting what we want are only 18% roughly. Right? It's a 7% difference. I think that's right. But welcome any comments if someone knows better. And he looks, of course he could be bluffing. There's always that potential, so maybe that is 7%, you know? Maybe that's the exact time you call. But I don't know. It's for your stack, you're fairly deep before it began. There aren't many things he can call that flop with. Of course he could have a better set. Or sorry, he could have a worse set. That's true. He could just be jamming his set. Doesn't he just raise us pre-flop though? Or post-flop? So I don't think that's likely. I think you can just put him on really drawy things. He called pre, he called post, and then he just 3-bet like a madman. And here we see he got it in too with a king 8, 2 pair. So he's not, you know, he's not lying when he gets there. He's not telling fibs. Up here in table 1, we're gonna call. We're calling to hope to get to position. But we don't think we're ahead of Phobius's range. I think on here, it's pretty deep to be shoving, but I think this guy calls a lot. So I think there's probably good reasons to be doing it. Yeah. Alright, we hold. And I don't mean like he calls a lot, so it's like good to shove if he's got aces or something. Everyone calls that. I just mean his range is wider of what he'll be opening, and his range is wider of what he'll be calling, so he will be calling with worse than jacks, which is actually true. We saw that. Back on this table, we're gonna call. So it opened by Phobius, who went call, 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 and then this guy just donks out of position. He probably has a jack. He's scared of a king now, I assume. Ace Jack's possible, but we may have heard about that pre-flop. I would put him on like Jack 10. Oh. And this bet by Albaca Blues, we're gonna fold. I think he's doing this with the king a lot of times, and it's a shame, right? But let's mark up what we know about Dinos on the other table, who called us off. Queen 10 off. So I think that Dinos guy might be a slight calling station from what we can see. We'll see. That's on this table, by the way. Sorry for not having it up. Let's reposition a little, get a little comfy, grab a little drink. I'm watching that replay right now of the tens with the flush and the straight. I think I definitely made the right play now that I'm looking back at it. I know I know I talked myself into a fold. That's fine. Here we have fine odds to call 7.3 to 1. Would much prefer obviously the flush chance with it, but this is fine. 10 jacks ahead of us, king queen's ahead of us, king nine's ahead of us. We're gonna call this. I got popped pretty heavy pretty quick, huh? You could walk away from it. Two pair's good, right? Two pair on a straight board, not so good. Just in case you're keeping an eye out there. Back on this board here. I think we just raise it. We're shoveling chips in, that's fine. We can be behind. Set on set. Can we hold? We hold. So that's, notice that this is vastly different than the other guys, right? Because on the other guys, he was just being kind of passive about it, right? And then aggressing. This guy was just like all out aggressive. I find it less likely that he had something. Draw-y, right? And on this table, we 3-bet pre. We got two callers. And now we're in a hand where it could be going pretty deep. Could be against a set. I think we could be against worse kings. Alright, they fold it. Back on this table, we're gonna fold. On this table, we opened for 2.2. We'll see what they get up to. I think VNM's this guy here. He's kind of a loose player, like he wants to see a lot, so I don't expect him to really fold pre-flop. He gets aggressive, we're obviously going to get aggressive back. He calls. Seems kind of standard. We're going to c-bet. Jack 8 could be in his range, I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know what just happened on this board. Seems like 4 people just decided that that was their hand. And it was a good hand for one of them. Up on table 2, we opened, we got 3-bet. We're going to call. So So we're behind on aces and jacks. We're ahead of queens and kings. Not ahead of ace jack. He's betting kind of small, right? We're just gonna repop it, see what we can do. We're not really worried about getting it in here. Aces are pretty unlikely. They're possible, but it's fairly unlikely. Yeah, just folding his queens, fine. Do that, sir. Okay, up on this table, Phobius opens for 3 after someone limps. I think we can shove 9s. I don't know what we've seen about Phobius, that's what concerns me. I think we're doing it. I wouldn't put Mizgui on a super strong hand. Phobius could have a strong hand, but I think he's 3-betting bigger, right? I think he's just trying to see if heads up. He could have ace king or something like that, fine. But I think aces, kings, queens are probably not likely in his range. Yeah, we take it. So we need to make a note of that Igor guy, right? Okay. On table 3, this is a little strange. We'll fold it. I don't actually think this guy's range is way out, so I don't know what he's shoving at that point. Right. Table 2. And thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining my micro games. I would say the micro army, but I think that's stealing from Matt Staples. But I don't know, I like watching Matt Staples a lot. I think he's a good player. He's a good guy. Gonna call. Does not improve us. Removes some 10s out there. Removes and improves some 10s out there. I don't know what someone's min betting. Could be a 10 originally. So our stat on this guy, our stat line, has this guy as kind of tight. But we're looking at this and he does not look tight. He looks kind of loose and aggressive-ish. We're gonna mark him as this for now. Okay. Queen 7 versus Ace King, huh? Guess that guy was just hunting for a straight. It's fine. I'm allowed to hunt for straights. Over here we're gonna go with the call. Check, call, whatever you call it. We had a pair. The bottomest of pairs with the bestest of kickers. And we're 4-way. There's a good chance people have draws here, or someone has a queen here. I think we're just going to check it back. We have showdown value at this point. Someone will let us know if we don't. Max Derlin. Yeah, I think he's got a better hand. I think he's too much of a passive player to not have something better at that point. And by the way, just because I am calling someone a passive player doesn't mean that they're a bad player, it just means their play style. So I think it's more likely he has something there that's better than what we have. I think typically the looser someone is pre-flop, the less tables they're playing. I don't know if that's absolutely true, but that's my personal belief. I think the tighter someone is, the more tables they're typically playing. And tight aggressive being probably somewhere in the middle, and probably the better player in general. I think there are a lot of really loose aggressive players out there, but it's very difficult to navigate multi-table. So I think on this table here, I'm gonna open for 2.2. It's a decent hand. We might get position. I think Dinos is gonna be part of this. All in by HQ is probably the not worst thing we could have had happen. Not what we were hoping for. I don't really want to call 10 bigs. We're getting 38%. That could be exactly what our hand is, to be honest with you. But I'm going to fold it. Well played, HQ. Is it a min open that we did? Or a 2.2? It was a 2.2. It should have been a 2. We should have min opened that. I kind of scanned the board and thought that thought we were all 20-ish, 30-ish plus, and that was a misstep by me. I don't think he actually plays that a lot of times though, but that was still a misstep. My main concern was Dinos, and I thought he's so deep that he might repop it if it's not 2.2. So I had to kind of try and balance between those. Table 4, then a fold. And if you're out there in chat, appreciate the follow if you can click it. Need all the support I can get, and really appreciate you being on the channel right now. We're gonna fold this hand. We're gonna keep an eye on this hand, but we're definitely folding it. Okay. Over on this one, like, I'm tempted to call this. I'll have position. I just feel like Max is going to call it behind us so often that we don't get position. And it's not a hand I want to 3-bet, really. 3.5x seems like a fairly big open for most people at these levels, so it could mean something pretty strong. Typically it's around like a min open or 2.5 or 2.2 or something like that. 3.5 seems bigger. Could be ace-king, something in that range. Max just loves to see hands. I don't know that he always bets though. Seems like he is telling the truth a lot. I don't know if his truth would be better than our truth on this hand. On table 3, I think we're going to open for 2.2 again. Looks like HQ0 kind of chipped up, right? So he's not the shove threat that he was. Back on this hand, we had this. This is what happened. is opening 3.5 with eights, which is something people know, right? Did he just c-bet it the whole way? I think he... Did he just... No, he just checked something to the flop, right? And a hit was an 8. Yeah. Check, raised, flop. Shoved turn. 8, queen, 6, 5. Check, raise, flop. Ship remaining on turn. Position. Okay. Good to know. Up on this table, I feel like we got odds to be part of this. 12 to 1, let's do it. We hit a pair. I like pairs. I like me a purr. It's a middle pair too. It's not the worst pair, but there's probably a lot of kingy pairs out there, or at least one out of, what is this, 6-way? Yeah. I'm gonna fold. This guy's stat line shows me most of the time he's telling the truth. I shall be inclined to believe said truth. Over on this table we're opening. Positionally it's not amazing, except that Vlad is someone who doesn't play too often. It's a shame that Wojciech, whatever his name is, Wojciechowski? Wojciechowski? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it sounds Russian and yet he is from Brazil. I'm going to check it back. His stat line says he doesn't fold too much to c-bets, or at least that's what we've seen so far. We haven't seen too many hands, but I think that's fine. He could easily be bluffing here, or he could be checking a king, a queen, or a jack on the flop, and just trying to get us to bet. I'm just going to give up on it. You know, we played that mostly for a steal pre-flop and position post-flop, but not on him. He wasn't our target audience. But he got there. He ended up being our target audience. Over on table 2, we just kind of saw this cheap. I think it linked to us or something crazy. Now we have an open-ended, and we're pretty deep, so we're going to call it off. It's not the bestest of turns. That allows full houses to beat our straight if we get there. I don't think he's doing this with a 5, by the way. He could have 4s or jacks, or ace jack, or something along that line. We're going to call. So our straight got there. We're probably going to move to check call mode. We don't want to bet and have to call off a shove and be wrong. We certainly probably have the best hand, but you never know. Yeah, we're going to call it off. Alright. Up on this table, we're going to shove. We get it through. It's all good. We missed this on this table. We ended up getting to that river. Not for the biggest of pots, but I don't think we want to get too deep when there aren't too many other flush hands that are behind us if they're flushed. Not that they always have a flush, but Good. Alright. What now? Just gonna check the tournaments coming up. I think there's the Bubble Rush we're considering. That's just started 3 minutes ago. I think we're gonna stay out of it. You know, it's turbo style tournament, not really so much to our liking. We've already got 4 tables up. Let's just navigate what we have and see what we can do. Let's just fold this. Dino's limps, no surprise there. He's limped 52%, or he's passively entered 52% of hands. Got a bit of a stack behind him though, so he's not doing terribly. This reminds me of like an 80s like thriller music or something, right? Like montage moment. Maybe it's our montage. We could steal here, right? I think HQ is the only reason not to steal. Oh no, Sabby is the reason. We saw Sabby before, didn't we? Didn't we, Sabby? So I would be tempted to mark you as a multi-tabler, Sabby, but I don't know if that's always true. I'm gonna see what it says. Yeah. Alright. Certainly gonna open this up. We're gonna min raise. Let's just c-bet. Our c-bet might be too small here, but it takes it down, so that works. Never really sure about c-bet sizing. I don't know if it should be smaller or bigger sometimes. And there should be reasons for either. I think the reason for going smaller on that other one was the guy didn't have too much behind. I'm gonna min open this. Patrick doesn't have too much behind. He can shove back. Fine, I'll call it off. I don't want to get three-way. I don't want Evgeny to be part of this. Okay, we're pretty far behind that, but I'm sure we still had the technical odds to be a part of it after we opened. Good time for Patrick there. If only Ace-King always held. When we have it, of course. Let's mark some people. I think we've spent a little time neglecting tagging people. I'm not hearing beeps from PokerStars. I don't know if I turned that down. Alright, just not hearing it. This is a sucky. This hand is kind of sucky. Yeah. That's why it's sucky. I actually thought Sabby would be the one to do this to me, but I'm not calling off 20 bigs with it. And now we have a bit of a history with HQ. He seems to be shoving our min bets and 2.5 bets. 20-ish big blinds, shoving to our steals. Right? We don't know if that's always true, but we certainly know it's happened twice, I think. And we folded twice, so it might be within our range or repertoire to find a sick hand and do the same and see if we can trap him. And in the wonderful words of Jason Somerville, Jay Carver, we will set a trap. We'll craft a trap for him. I don't know if we can, but we'll certainly try, and maybe we'll chase him into that trap and trap ourselves. We'll see. Over on this table, we're just gonna min open. Two of these people are pretty loose. Patrick has come back from obscurity, so I don't know if he's actually loose or just whipping his stack around and getting in sticky situations. I think with Zikowski gets involved a lot of times. Ugh. Just every time we min raise, we seem to be getting shoved on. And I'm not sure what to do with king queen off, but I feel like it plays poorly at this position. So I'm just gonna fold it. It's fine. We can move on. Find our next hand. I don't want to flip my stack into ace king or ace queen. Are they doing that with queen jack? I doubt it. So we're not dominating something, right? Are they doing that with jack 10 suited? I doubt it. It's quite possible, but I doubt it. Are they doing that with 8s, 9s, 10s? Yes. I think they can be doing it with those. And in that case, we're flipping. So we're calling for a flip. Best case scenario. Or we're calling for domination on worst case scenario. Back on this table, I think he doesn't actually open many hands. So I feel like playing this trappy, and this can certainly bite us. I feel like playing it trappy because I don't think he opens too many. So if we re-raise, it might get into like a shove war or something 80 bigs deep. Whereas I think we can kind of extract if we hit. Over on another table, we had a decent hand we wanted to play, and that opportunity got taken from us. Uh, 35 reg. You're being a bit of a weirdo. We're gonna call you. Does he c-bet all the time? No. 50% of the time, he hasn't c-bet the turn. I think we bet small. And this is partially to take it now. This is partially to protect the river. If we checked it back, I think there's a lot of times that he'll just get aggressive on the river, wondering what we're doing. Alright, folds, that's good. That's a good for us moment. What is up with these songs? Okay, I need to restart my music for some reason. We're on this table. I think we're actually getting decent odds. I'm just really worried about Savvy shoving behind. So that would be stopping my reasoning for being a part of something. The sound output device is locked up. Has it? Is this true for all things? Let's find out, Spotify. Let's find out. Over here, this is getting fun. I don't really know why the other thing has stopped playing. I assume that can't be good, by the way. Just while we're talking about it. Looking up royalty free on Spotify. We'll see if we can find something worthwhile. Looks like Patrick has just kept coming back from obscurity a couple times here. I don't know, I haven't really kept an eye on what's getting him in trouble. You know, he's just doing strange things, I suppose. Alright. Dropping frames like crazy while we're trying to load Spotify. Not sure what the reason could be for that.